Well, hi there, beautiful humans. It's Adria Firestone, speaker, author, coach, and today we're talking about resilience. What is it? Is it good for you? Is it learning dreadful lessons? Is it all of the above? Well, I'm just going to share a few tales from the dark side, all right? So, a million years ago, when I was in Florida performing, and I had been performing since I was 10 years old, I was a big fish by that time in a very small pond, and I came to New York. And in New York, of course, you are then a microfish in the ocean. So it was a very different experience, and it frightened the wits out of me, but I did my best. But I think that my soul must have decided that I needed to do the whole starving artist thing for a while, and I did. So I didn't have any food. I had my car payment, my apartment payment. Fortunately, my cousin had allowed me to rent her apartment for a little while, and for a very, very reasonable rate. But I had my car payment, and I had to pay to house the car, to park the car. So I didn't have any money for something luxurious like food. So what I did was the best I could get whatever temp jobs I could get. So I was lucky enough, one late morning, some person didn't show up at the temp agency, and they called me to go down south in Manhattan to get one of the jobs that I had to pick up. And it must have been around 10 or 11, so there was practically nobody in the subway. And there was an old African American man and I in this one car, and we kind of smiled at each other, and he was watching me, and he said to me, "What are you doing on this subway car? You look like you stepped out of a limousine. I don't think you belong here." And I said to him, "No, I'm afraid. I wish that what you saw was true, but it's an illusion. I got this suit at a great consignment store on Madison Avenue, and I'm a size 6, so, most anything fits. And right now, I had 2 tokens. I already put one in the turnstile to go to this job, and I don't have any food." And he just crossed his arms and looked at me and said, "You mark my words. You're going to be stepping out of a limousine. You'll see." I said, "That would be wonderful. Thank you for that." And you know something, 24 months later, maybe even less, I was stepping out of Mercedes and Daimlers and limousines in Dubai and Beijing and Jakarta, and my life shifted and changed. But what did that period of time teach me? I was with a partner who I thought was a partner who would put his shoulder to the wheel the way I was putting my shoulder to the wheel, and together we could do anything. It wasn't the case. I said, because he too was looking for a job. And I said, go get any job, drive a cab. And he said, "Well, I'm college educated." And I said, "So am I. But you know something? You do what you have to do." So one, it taught me that I was strong enough to do it by myself. And it also taught me the value of the fact that I had food when I was a child. We were lower middle class, but we had a home, so there was a roof, there was food on the table, there was clothes on my back. And I appreciate and thank my father for that, because my father worked 2 jobs back to back, and both were heavy physical labor. One, he worked at the Seaboard Coastline, and 2, he worked at National Airlines, and he did back to back. That's how strong that man was. And he's the one who put always, no matter what he was up to, he put food on the table. I really appreciated that. So let's go to part 2 of resiliency. When I walked off stage and I decided that I wanted to do something else, I began teaching at a university, and I also created a construction company. Now, did I know anything about construction? No. I sure do now. I know a great deal about construction. I know how to set tile versus marble. Fascinating. I could do Venetian plaster walls. It was fascinating. But when the crash came in 2008, when the housing market, and I had created this business for George and was managing it, it crashed and we were bankrupt within a year. And that was a really tough experience. And once again, gathered myself together and said, I can't sit here and moan. I've got to get to work. So I found a job with the help of a friend at a big hotel chain. And they gave me the job of taking care of the VIP lounge, which meant I would go and pick up the food in a huge cart, go pick up the food in the kitchen, and then set out a breakfast buffet. I would start at 5, and by 6 a.m. I had a breakfast buffet set out, and I was closing up by 1 o'clock, and by 2 o'clock I was gone, and then I would go to the university to teach, and then in the evenings I would be writing contracts for the construction. Whatever little few contracts there were, I'd be writing that. So I was working 3 jobs. And one of the things that I remember was how insulted I became when it was time for I don't know if it was a 6-month, maybe it was a 6-month, an evaluation of your work. And this adorable, beautiful young lady, who was probably young enough to be my granddaughter, was evaluating my performance. And I thought that was ridiculous, because I wanted to say to her, my dear, I could teach you about hospitality. Because, of course, my parents made me the hospitality queen. I knew how to take care of their people. Okay, I became an expert at it. But what was interesting is when I took both hands and got over myself, this is part of the job, you just do it. I asked myself, what matters? What matters? Food. Food mattered. And because I was serving breakfast, once breakfast was served, I could have eggs and bacon and fruit and yogurt, and because I didn't, once more in my life, did not have a budget for food. There was no food. But I got to eat. I ate once a day, and I ate like a monster, and I survived. So, resilience. Resilience, I think, is a test that maybe our soul gives ourselves, that we give to ourselves, is this test about, can you do this? And I've always been, I guess, surprised, shocked, happy to see that, my goodness, you really are resilient. You really are strong. And that is a beautiful coming home to yourself, knowing your strength, knowing that no matter what goes on, you're going to deal with it. You're going to deal with it. You may not be able to solve it in that moment, but you will do your best. So I think when you keep doing your best, resilience happens. I simply saw it as I needed to do what needed to be done. And so I did it. I didn't cogitate on it much. So I say for all of us, look back at your life and see where in your life your own resilience will surprise you. And realize what a gift it is to realize that. What a gift it is to see that and to feel that. And not only pat yourself on the back, no, give yourself a huge hug, because it's worth it. It's worth it. It is not that we go through life and we may be lucky to avoid any of the pitfalls And any of the challenges, they're just part of life. That's all it is. It's just part of life. So if it's a part of life, we have to realize that we are remarkable beings. We are creative beings. We are a piece of the divine. We are a piece of a creator. And we are creators. And no matter how we are brainwashed and conditioned and trained to think we are powerless, we are absolutely not. So take all of who you are. Take the resilience that you have developed through your life. Share it with me. Let me know what you've been going through. I'll be fascinated. And if you're seeing this on YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell so that you know when I'll be putting out a video, which I usually do every week on Thursday. So take your resilience, put it in your pocket and say, that's mine. I earned it. And I'll tell you, in the end, it makes a person that you can say, yeah, you know something? I like who you are. And that's a wonderful thing. So, darlings, it's Adria Firestone, the speaker, author, coach. Laughing at some of the tales of the dark side that I have gone through in my life. But it has made me the woman I am today. And I like who I am. So I will see you very, very soon. See you later, alligator. Bye-bye. You know what your answer is, don't you? See you in a while, crocodile. Shh, don't tell anybody. Bye.